Hi everyone and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Rosanna and today we're going to be making a recipe that just recently became one of my favorites. I loved it so much. I have to confess, I had it for breakfast. It's probably not the healthiest thing to eat in the morning, but I had it because I loved it. I just had to have another piece. So I'm sure you're going to love it as well. We're going to be making a pumpkin bread. You might say, Rosanna, what is so special about pumpkin bread? Well, let me tell you, we're gonna swirl cheesecake on it. It's incredible, it's out of this world, and you're gonna fall in love with it as well. The best part about this recipe, it is so simple to make. If you ever crave it, you don't have to worry about the hustle. You don't have to worry about how complicated it is. Just pull out a bowl and you start mixing ingredients. It's that simple. So let's zoom in. Okay, so to your bowl, you're gonna add 1 cup of sugar. One cup of pumpkin puree. Now make sure this is pumpkin puree and not the pumpkin pie mix. We don't want all that extra seasoning. We're gonna add that ourselves. 2 large eggs and a teaspoon of vanilla. Add half a cup of vegetable oil. Now just whisk it all in. All right, so just make sure it's nicely incorporated. Once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and add all of our dry ingredients. And for that, you're gonna need 1 3/4 cup of AP flour, and in here I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice. Just add it all in and whisk it in. Now this cake is going to be so moist, and I love that it's kind of thick. As you can see, it's not a loose batter, it's kind of thick. And that's going to help us when we start swirling our cheesecake batter in there as well. I got it all over my finger. All right, so this is nicely mixed, so we're going to set it aside. And now we're going to move over to our cheesecake mix. So for that, I'm going to be using my mixer just because I really got to get into that cream cheese, break it down well so everything's nicely mixed in. So let's get started on this. To your mixing bowl, you're gonna add 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, and we're gonna mix this with a paddle attachment. We're gonna go ahead and add a 1/4 cup of sour cream, 1 large egg, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. And just give it another quick mix. Scrape down your bowl to make sure you get everything nicely incorporated. We don't want any lumps. We want it to be smooth. So if you can scrape down your paddle attachment as well to get as much as you can well mixed in. Okay, close it up. So as you can tell, it is nice and smooth. This is exactly the consistency you want. So let's put everything together. All right, so both of our mixes are done. So let the fun begin. Okay, so for this, I'm gonna be using a 9" by 5" loaf pan. I'm gonna spray it well, and I'm also gonna add parchment paper, and it doesn't hurt to spray that as well, so we can just prevent anything from sticking at all. So just place your parchment paper in here. And you know, the parchment paper works great for stuff not sticking, but then you can also just pull it up. This came out totally wrong. All right, so this works when you're trying to pull out your cake. So easy, and you don't have to go through any trouble. So let's put this bad boy together. Okay, so spray. Lay down your parchment paper. Make sure everything's well positioned. And lightly spray that as well. Now we're gonna add our pumpkin mix first, and we're gonna add about 1/3 of the entire mix because we're gonna have to kind of layer everything in. So 1/3 of your pumpkin mix first. You're going to add 1/3 of your cheesecake mix as well, just right over it. And I'm just gonna swirl this in with a spatula. I love swirling things when you're baking. It looks so good. So just swirl it around, get it nicely mixed in. Add a little bit more of your pumpkin mix. There you go. A little bit more of your cheesecake mix. And swirl that as well. So good. Okay, so now add the rest of your pumpkin mix. And enjoy the last bit of swirling in there. Swirl. You can also take some of that out, some of that pumpkin, and you know, give it a nice extra touch. Just like that. Okay, so before we move on to our oven, I would like to invite you to subscribe, like, and share our videos. And also do not forget to click the notification bell so you're notified every time there's a brand new and exciting recipe. So let's get baking. Make sure your oven is preheated at a 325-degree temperature. Okay, it is done. I've actually went ahead and baked this for, I'd say, an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, or until a knife comes out clean. So just let it reach kind of like a warm temperature so you can unmold it easily. You don't want to unmold it while it's still hot. Just wait for it to get kind of like warm. See, I can touch it and I can feel the warmth in it. All we're gonna do is take the ends and pull it out. Let me show you. Bam! Easy peasy. I encourage you to perfect every step, enjoy every ingredient, and bake it with tons of love. This cake will come out so moist you will definitely be coming back for more. And let's not forget, your kitchen will smell incredibly amazing. It's so good. So good. You know, your cake is so moist. Then you have some of that cheesecake mix that didn't get sucked into the cake. As you can see some of that white swirls. It gives it a really delightful creaminess. I mean, as a whole, this is incredible. I encourage you to try it. And I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Then also remember, you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.